the premise of this show is to get to know more about you, brother, know more about the person behind the title. So let's start from the beginning, man. Like, how did you get into tech?
It's a great question. Well, it wasn't my parents' dream to get into tech sales. I'll tell you that much. So I don't know if you have any South Asian friends, but typically South Asian parents, they want you to become a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer.
Yeah.
And they compare you to every family member back home, here, everywhere. And, my mom wanted me to become that. But throughout my career in university and high school, I always had a passion for sales. I worked door to door selling newspaper subscriptions for the Toronto Star. I was, in a call center. I was selling phone plans. I was doing everything. And I had a passion for tech. I had a passion for sales. So I told my mom, listen, I'm going to go against your wishes. I apologize in advance, but I want to get into sales. And it took a lot of, explaining and a lot of late night talks, but she said, okay, just make us proud and make a lot of money too. And I think I've done that. But yeah, that's, thankfully, I was able to break into tech sales back in 2006, almost 16 years ago.
Wow, West days. Remember
that? It was a long time ago. And very grateful that I was able to land a SDR role at IBM. Back then, the SDR role was called a lead generation rep. So I did basically, and I'll tell you something, Jarrett. People talk about being an SDR now. You want to know how it was like an SDR back in 2006? You didn't have any Zoom info. You didn't have all these tools like Gong and Outreach. It was picking up the phone and calling gatekeepers, trying to find out who the right person to talk to was all day.
Yeah. And there's 4 levels of management too. So you talk to the gatekeeper who puts you onto a manager, they put you onto another person, and God forbid you press the wrong extension. You remember those days, bro? It used to be the worst, man. So I totally remember that. It was a million cold calls. You get lucky if you get somebody on the line. And then when you got somebody on the line, you had to be sick with your words in order to get somebody to actually want to buy and be interested, bro. But you mentioned something that was really interesting, bro. So like you had a passion for sales. Where did that come from, bro?
It came from just, being competitive. So I'm big into sports. I'm big into basketball. I know you're big too. I mean, look at your Cleveland Indians hat. And I've seen like episodes of you wearing different hats. So I know you're into sports. But I grew up playing basketball, right? Watching a lot of hockey. I'm from Alberta originally, so a big hockey fan. And I used to play in high school. And I used to play day and night in the summers, and I just had that competitive spirit to do well. And I know sales is all about drive and passion and being competitive.
Yeah.
But not only that, as I alluded to earlier, I've been like, imagine being 14 years old and being dropped off in a van on the street saying, hey, I want you to sell these newspaper subscriptions for the Toronto Star. I was getting rejected, being called every name in the book, door slammed in my face. So I knew how to take rejection. And I know in sales, you got to have thick skin. Yeah. I was competitive and I had drive. And that's what led me in a multitude of roles to say, hey, I want to get into sales.